if you've seen any of my previous videos, you've probably seen if I'm working in the teletype terminal, so that's the non-graphical terminal, the Linux terminal, the original, the OG, the proper terminal. You'll see often that I will put set font and then whatever font, so usually the terminus type font, ter-132b. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, let's just have a little look at the screen. So I'm on the Arch Linux wiki here about the Linux console. Okay, so the Linux console is a system console internal to the Linux kernel. It's the thing that loads up first, the first terminal that loads up that allows you to start X11, your graphical environment, whatever. But I do a lot of my work actually in that terminal. So if you watch my previous videos, you will know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to move off from this for a second and actually go into the Linux terminal, right? So if I do, well, let's do set font. So you'll see I do this quite often. So this is setting the font, and I'll do ter-132b. Lovely, you can see it nice and clearly. And if I do TTY, I'm in the Linux terminal, the original terminal in the in my virtual machine. And then if I do start X, that'll go into the graphical environment, and then that's loading like Xterm or whatever. Okay, makes sense, sure. Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a permanent font. Now I actually quite like my standard font, or the standard font that usually comes in the Linux terminal. So if you actually do set font, it just returns really to the original font and the original size. So for now I will just set that back. How do you make this permanent? Now if you want to make this permanent, we're going to have a look at the Arch wiki. So what it says here, we want to scroll down. To fonts. Okay, so it gives you a whole spiel about Linux console and fonts. You can read all of this. This will be in the description. What we're interested in is this here. So the KBD package, console fonts and key maps. Now when I did my Linux install, we did put in key maps. I think I put in UK as that's my console setup. So let's go back to having a look. So that's user share KDB key maps. Now if you remember, when I do my set font to 132b etc., it's because it's not set permanently, and I don't want it set permanently. So just remember, set font will not necessarily set it permanently. Okay, so if I go into user, try to remember this, share KDB the other way around, key maps. Okay, and this is all of your key maps. Okay, does that make sense? So we want, what is it, 386 or whatever, and then you got what, CD QWERTY whatever. Oh, don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, there you go. So you've got all these different key maps. So I've just got UK. Okay, and so we want to, let's go into console fonts. Okay, so let's go to console fonts. So it's user share KDB console fonts, and again these are all your actual type of fonts. Does that make sense? So I've got my key map set to UK, that's my keyboard, and my console fonts is all these different fonts here which you can see. So how do we set this permanently? Well, it doesn't really, here we go, it does say, so persistent configuration. So this is in your etc vconsole.conf. okay, you can see the format here is quite simple, so let's get into it. So I'm going to just go into v and oh, what am I doing, etc vconsole There we go. As you can see, I've just got the key map set to UK. So if you remember when we went back to the actual key map, so it's a key map to UK. So if you haven't got your key map set, you would probably set it to whatever it is, probably in QWERTY, depending on your keyboard configuration. But now we want to set our console font permanently. Well, I don't actually, but maybe you do. So I'm going to set it to my TER132B. And so if you look at it, it's pretty simple, okay? So you've got font map there. Now you can set font map. I don't know if that's really necessary. I don't know. I'm just going to set font. I'm just going to set font. So what shall we set it to? So I already know. Oh, of course, make sure you do this with sudo. Oh, what am I doing? Don't even need to do that. Do sudo. There we go. There we go. Bit of terminal. Remember to put in your password correctly. There we go. Right, so it's just fonts equals, and then I'm what? TER132B. Okay. That should be it. So save that. And then really just do a reboot just to prove to you. So it's going to reboot. Going to reboot. Look at that. As you can see, my login screen even has my my login screen as TER132B. How fantastic. So of course, if you don't want that, you can change it out. Might be an idea to have a list of ones if you want to change and have some kind of I don't know. I actually have my own. Let's show you what I do. I will only show you some of it, but let's show you. So if I log in, let's show you what I do. So actually, let's go into here. Make this a bit bigger. Downloads. Okay, if I go into, so this is my TTYSH program, which gives me automation in the TTY, and I have like a permanent font setter and a temporary font setter, and I actually use the program new screen, and that loads a configuration file, and then it allows me to look at the list of different fonts, and then in the other pane it shows what the configuration file is, and then I can just put in what the font is. It's just a nice little automation, and as you can see here, I've got my console fonts loaded into FCF, the most magnificent program, and then I can pick a font. So if I want to set something temporary, as you can see, so I could do it. Here you go. Here's a way to temporarily, if you want to, pick a font, use FCF. Nice, and it's up to you. But that's just a nice little easy way to set a permanent font. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you're using the TTY, whether you're a system administrator or just a normal user who, like me, likes the TTY, now you've got a permanent way to set it. And of course, I don't actually know what happens if I just do set font. It returns to the old style. How nice is that? So even if you don't like it, you just want to go back to the old font, you can just hit set font, reboot if you want to go back, or I know, source the configuration file, I guess. Does that work? I don't know. Anyway, just a nice little one there. I will leave this in the description. And look here, as you've got a link to the Terminus font, so you might want to install that package. So if you want to install that package, Terminus font, you would just do, make sure your repository is up to date, and then you just do dash capital S Terminus font. Obviously I've got it installed, or no, I haven't got it installed on here, funny enough. on my non-virtual machine, but just install that, and there you go. You've got all those TER type fonts, whatever. Hope that all made sense. Pretty simple stuff, really. So yeah, we'll just leave that there, and you know what to do. My fake YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.